Andre here back with another unfiltered breakdown. Today's video isn't just a takedown, it's a reality check and wake up call if you will. We're here talking about gaming studios that gamers myself have lost a little respect for. Some of these developers used to be the king of the industry, the kind of games that made you pre-order a game without questioning it, midnight release type of energies. But now they either sell as half-finished trash or they sold their souls to microtransaction gods, and we have to pay the price for it now. It's getting really ugly out here to be a gamer, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. So from the titans like Bungie to Xbox, the ones that just recently imploded like Build a Rocket Boy, we're gonna unpack all the downfall of the studios that lost our respect and in some cases our trust. So buckle in, this is gonna hurt to talk about, so let's get into it. Starting off the list is Build a Rocket Boy, the mind's eye fiasco. First up, we need to talk about it. Build a Rocket Boy, this one happened really recently, and this one hurts because the hype was really real for this industry. Headed by Lindsay Benzie, the guy who helped define the modern open world with GTA 5, expectations were really high for the studio in the game Mind's Eye. So what happened? Mind's Eye was released and it was billed as a crime revolutionary multiverse, and then the hype died the first day that it was dropped. It came out with broken graphics, T-posing NPCs, and laughable facial expressions. It was like watching a school project with the RTX price tag on it, and then gamers crapped on the game. Gamers expected a high-level Rockstar polished game, and we got dog crap. And what was worse, the company actually had the nerve to gaslight us, calling players bots, accusing of fake reviews, and while dodging all accountability, there's been no major patches yet and no apologies, just vibes for the game, and none of them are good vibes. This was supposed to be a future-proof studio. Instead, they became a warning when hype overtakes substance, a cautionary tale written in frame drops. Bungie, ethic erosions. Bungie name used to mean something in the industry. They gave us Halo, they gave us Reach, they taught us console players how great that FPS games could be on the actual console. We felt good to play those games. But now Destiny 2 feels less like a game and more like a monetized service treadmill. Listen, the Destiny community has always been really loyal to the game, but now how many times can you really patch a broken promises with another shader or overpriced seasonal event? The constant resets, the vaulting of content that people already paid for, and don't even get me started on Eververse. When the layoffs hit, right after selling Sony mind you, it was clear where Bungie's priority really were. It sure wasn't with the people, and it wasn't with the players. The bottom line is they stopped caring about what the fans thought. And then they had the audacity to tease Marathon, only to show us another extraction shooters, something that nobody asked for, but yet the soups approved it just to take our dollars. This isn't the Bungie that we grew up with. This is a live service factory churning out disappointment and glossy armor. Xbox Game Studios mismanaged and ambitions. So let's talk about Microsoft. These guys brought up half of the industry. Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, Obsidian, say what you will, they even snagged Double Fine and Ninja Theory. They built up a super team of talent. On paper, this should have been the golden era. So why does it feel like the lights are on but nobody's home for Xbox? Redfall was an embarrassment. Halo Infinite had a solid core but got kneecapped by delays and leadership mismanagement. Perfect Dark and Fable still mission in action, so I can't comment on that. And don't get me started on State of Decay 3. That thing has been in purgatory for years now. The Gaming Pass is a cool new addition, but where's the defining exclusive? The games that makes you proud to own an Xbox like we used to. Right now, it feels like a backlog of Netflix mid-tier experiment. Xbox has become the kings of wait and see what happens, and that is not leadership. Xbox has all the tools, but there hasn't been any real execution. So far, it's been sloppy, and me personally, I'm tired of waiting, and you should be too. Gamerbox, Borderlands Burnout. Remember when Gamerbox was cool? Borderlands 2 changed the game. Guns with legs, shell-shaded chaos. It was magic. Then came Battleborn. That game was dead on arrival. Borderlands 3 was meh. It was loud. It was empty. It had a lot of try-hard humor. It was written like an intern trying to impress TikTok users. Tiny Tina's Wonderland started off really strong, but it couldn't keep its momentum. And Randy Pitchfork was a walking PR nightmare. It was like a USB stick full of not safe for work content. It was a lot of public rants and wild accusations. It was like a Twitter thread came to real life. Nowadays, Gearbox feels like it's clinging to one franchise, and even that fan base is cracking. So if Borderlands 4 doesn't hit hard, that studio might as well get benched. Warner Brother Games, license greed. Warner Brother Games is sitting as the most powerful IP vault in the industry. They got DC, they got Mortal Kombat, they have Harry Potter, they got Lord of the Rings. They got all the keys to the kingdom, all the tools right there. So why do their games feel like mobile apps with just console skins on them? Gotham Knights was mediocre and trash. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. The fans booed that as soon as they showed the gameplay trailers. They booed that game harder than a WWE heel turn. Live service mechanics and battle passes, it was very boardroom buzzword like, shoved all into like one product. It was horrible. And don't forget the Nemesis system. That was awesome. It was innovative and that could have really evolved into something incredible. Instead, they locked it behind patience and it buried it within their own productions. It's a mechanic that could have transformed Assassin's Creed, the Elden Ring playstyle of games. There was so much potential for that, and that was gone and wasted. That potential was squandered in the name of microtransactions and company greed. Ubisoft, formula fatigue and just collapse. Man, Ubisoft is trying to speedrun and just into irrelevance. They pioneered some of the most iconic gaming series if ever. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Splinter Cell, but now every game is like really bloated with a lot of checklists of tower icons, side quests that just feels like homework, and I honestly get bored after a couple hours. And according to rumors, the work culture is a nightmare. There's allegations of harassment, misconduct, and the toxic leadership team that somehow keeps their jobs but overwork the devs till they get burnt out until they quit. They did get success with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, but they gave it no marketing. There was like nothing almost heard of that game. They treated it like a side dish when they should have been the main course, and it could have really pushed them into a good trajectory. Ubisoft doesn't need a comeback. They need to cleanse and wash everybody out and just start fresh all over again. Rocksteady, Arkham's legacy is lost. Once upon a time, Rocksteady defined superhero gaming. Arkham Asylum was revolutionary, it was beautiful, and then Arkham City was almost perfect. And then there was nothing for almost a decade. When they came back with Suicide Killed the Justice League, we were hyped, I was into it. Then the gameplay reveal, it was always online, battle passes, and then loot mechanics. Trash, garbage, throw it away. And then when studio leads started leaving mid-development, you know something's wrong when they're abandoning your ship. Fans wanted story, combat, atmosphere, and what we got was a lot of noise, flashy lights, and empty grime. This wasn't a game, it was a product, and it broke hearts. It broke my heart, so trash. EA Games and BioWare, the empty shell. BioWare used to be untouchable. They had Mass Effect, Dragon Age, just to name a few games. Their games had deep characters, hard choices, emotional payoffs, and now it's just disappointment and high res. Andromeda was a disaster when it was released, and then there was Anthem that came out even worse. They promised that as a Destiny killer game, but that dropped worse because it had even more bugs and problems than ever before. The upcoming Dragon Age Vanguard looks like aiming for the Fortnite crowd, and Mass Effect 4 was delayed yet again. It's not the same studios it used to be. The legends are gone, and EA, they just want another live service cash cow. They keep pushing and cutting until there's nothing left but a logo. That's not how you run things. Square Link, corporate confusion. Square Link, where do I even begin? This company used to be mythical. They had Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Kingdom Hearts, classic games. You can't deny that. But now they're chasing every trend except the ones that used to make them great. Meaningful games. Babylon's Fall, Marvel Avengers, fail after fail. Garbage games don't even need to be mentioned. Instead of learning where they went wrong, they doubled down on NFTs. They even sold Tomb Raider and Deus Ex for pennies. Gamers with legacy cut loose for Crypto Dream, and yet they still expect Final Fantasy to just carry the brand just on itself. Square Link isn't failing because of bad luck. They're failing because they forgot why players cared in the first place. Naughty Dog, prestige paralysis. Finally, we get to talk about Naughty Dog. These guys are icon. Uncharted, The Last of Us, game that made you feel something. Out of everybody on this list, they're the only company that I can't think of a game that was trash they released. They refined cinematic storytelling, but lately they're stuck in a loop. Re-releases, remasters, remakes, canceled multiplayer, and one new game that's been in development for almost 10 years now. You can't live off of greatness forever, not even if your name is Joel. Naughty Dog needs to take a risk again. tell a new story, push new ideas, or risk becoming a museum piece of famous, respected, but no longer relevant games. Right now, they're awesome. We're still playing the remasters, but one day they'll fizzle out. That's it for the Hall of Shame. I hope this is a call out for industries to do better. We just want to trust studios again. Trust is earned, but not inherited. So which one of these studios has disappointed you the most, and which one do you still believe in? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell if you want more unfiltered gaming talk. And if you want to catch more of me, catch me live on Twitch and TikTok. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays at 9:30 Eastern time. But until next time, guys, stay smart, stay safe, and as always, stay alpha.